When the political opposition called for an inquiry into workplace safety, they cited Soma as one of the offenders. Was it now a dreadful mistake for the government to vote against the idea of that inquiry?
Well, I think the picture should be seen in its own perspective, because in the parliament work, the sessions start with the opposition taking the floor and asking for investigations or formation of committees. And if we had really formed those committees, we would have more than perhaps 500 different investigation commissions.
But there was a very bad. You have a poor record of industrial safety. Did you vote against the idea of having this inquiry?
Well, this inquiry was voted yes. The government party rejected this, but it wasn't just because it was on the on new measures on the mine industry's security. But normally we have really closed over 100 mines in the last few years, and this particular mine was investigated twice last year, and it was investigated this March, and nothing wrong was found there. So I think what the opposition was doing was perhaps correct, but it wasn't exactly to a investigation commission structuring.
Mr. Bozkir,
it was just to take the time of the parliament.
There's two things, Mr. Bozkir. These checks weren't carried out without warning. But secondly, the company that was involved in the mine, the private company, said in 2012 it boasted that it dropped the cost per tonne for extraction from the mine from $140 to just under $24. Didn't that set off alarm bells?
Well, that is, I think, that shouldn't be looked like that. When you have privatization, or if you are having a private sector working anywhere, the costs go really below the government functioning of any institution.
But that is a radical,
because the price
that's a radical
went down,
drop.
The security also went down.
The security went down as well. Now, you heard the dismay that Prime Minister Erdogan's speech about the disaster caused, particularly when he said that these disasters were not quite commonplace, but cited disasters around the world, including one going back to 1860 in Britain. Has the Prime Minister misread not only the domestic mood, but also the international mood about this disaster?
Well, I think you should look at the picture correctly. The Prime Minister cancelled his visit to Albania. He was supposed to be there. He convened the Ministerial Council and declared a 3 days mourning. He sent the Minister of Energy there. Minister of Energy is there for 3 days now. Every minister relevant was there. He went there personally.
But why did he have to make a historical speech about something that's very real and immediate to hundreds of families?
It wasn't something historical. I mean, it was answering a question, and he just gave some examples. That was all. But what he did was actually he wanted to caress the whole people by going there, and he has instructed an amount equivalent to the salary to be paid to the families of the lost miners. And there he ordered also an investigation, and said that if this investigation result proves that anybody is guilty, he will not be, or she will not be, tolerated.
You said the Prime Minister, Mr. Bozkir, you said the Prime Minister went there to caress the people. What was his aide doing, kicking a protester then, kicking a member of the family? Should that aide be sacked now?
Well, look, the Prime Minister didn't kick anybody.
I said his aide.
Individual issue. Somebody from his staff did that, but he also made a statement that he was deeply saddened that he couldn't control himself in face of the provocations. But you should take that as a person, a young person who lost his nerves. I mean, you cannot attach this to the Prime Minister at all. The Prime Minister
I'd just like to ask you, you are a senior politician.
He went there to find a solution to the problem.
You are a senior politician in Turkey. Sorry, I have to press this point. I'm sorry. Just to be absolutely clear about this, you're a very senior politician. It is the Prime Minister's aide. This isn't some ingenue. When an image of him kicking a protester, or indeed a member of the family of one of a bereaved family, and you think this is the action of an individual that perhaps was inexperienced, surely the least the Prime Minister should be doing is censoring that and saying that that aide should be dismissed.
Well, you haven't seen the end of the story yet. We are in a very difficult moment. The worst disaster happened. Funerals are taking place. We are still looking after the persons missing, and under these circumstances, I think everybody should wait for a few days in order to see what measures are being taken, or if a Prime Minister's aide is dismissed or not. I think looking at the picture today from that perspective is wrong. We are really suffering. Everybody's very sad, and we are trying to go into the mine, try to find the missing miners, alive or dead. And at this point, I think looking to the particular case of a aide of a Prime Minister is wrong.
Thank you very much.
All the measures will be taken, and the investigation will be on. And if there is anything missing in the security of the mines in Turkey, new measures, additional measures will be taken. But I think at this moment, looking to the perspective from one person kicking another is wrong. That we are really suffering from a worse mine disaster. The population is very sad.
Mr. Bozkir, I'm afraid we'll have to drop. I'm afraid we'll have to stop you there. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much, Neil. I'm afraid we have to stop you there. We've run out of time.